Well, hello everybody, welcome back to my Let's Play, the game known as SpellForce 3. I'm IVATOPia, this is episode 33, and of course this is technically SpellForce 3, so Harvest standalone expansion, but we are technically playing it for the standalone client of SpellForce 3 Reinforced. Okay, and I think we're about to have a chat to see if there's anything extra to say to us. Or not.
What are you reading? A letter?
What? It's nothing.
Well, if you need to talk, I'm here.
Alright. But if you need to talk, I'm here.
I'm a kitty farm.
Actually, I could
Very
use
goodly.
a friendly ear. Sure you want to hear this, General?
Yes?
This won't be as fun as our last talk.
Yes. Tell me.
Well, the drinking
Fair
talk.
Someone died.
Oh, sorry.
My former husband, Lauren.
Whoa. Wow. Did she mention her husband in game SpellForce 3? In the main campaign? I assume she did. I'm trying to think what that thing was, because I remember she was running from something. Oh, you were married. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Not your fault. But first Tahar, now him. Fate has a messed up sense of humor.
I didn't even know you were married.
Thank you, I wanted to say that too.
I never told anyone.
Oh, so you didn't mention it before though?
Lauren and I... That was 8 years ago. 2 years after I fled Finn and Mir, and 4 years before I met Tahar.
Okay. So you were separated. It was Lauren, how did you meet? You were a vagabond before you joined Tahar, weren't you? Why did you flee?
You were a vagabond before you joined Tahar, weren't you?
Yes, I was. A traveling healer.
Why did you flee?
Why did you flee Finn on Mir? I meant to ask you, but I never got the chance.
Long story. Suffice it to say that I trusted the wrong people.
What happens? Who was Lauren? How did you meet?
I see. So, who was Lauren?
Lauren.
How did you meet?
In the woods of Highmark. He was a forester. I had made camp in a clearing, but must have eaten something bad for dinner. Because when I woke up the next day, I had terrible stomach cramps.
Ow.
I tried to push on, but I couldn't even move without throwing up. So instead, I spent the whole day lying in my tent, puking my guts out.
Ow.
The problem was, my provisions were almost gone, and I was severely dehydrated.
Can he
I
help you?
guess Lauren found you.
Found me, took me to his village, and nursed me back to health.
Nice of him.
When I had fully recovered, he offered to let me stay, and that I did. For 2 years.
And you got married? Just like that?
Just like that.
No, not just like that. But if I were to tell you the whole story, we'd still be sitting here by dawn. It simply felt right. I don't know how else to say it.
And you got married?
After a year, yes. You see, Lauren was a good man.
Okay.
One of these incredibly honest, genuine people who wear their hearts on their sleeves. Simply because they have nothing to hide. He was
Nice.
kind, caring, and beautiful. And though he knew he didn't have much to offer materially, he laid what he had at my feet. And all of that even though I wasn't even a good match. An exiled elf. A vagrant, a mage. There were plenty of other women he could have been with. But he wanted me. I still don't get it, to be honest.
Well, I just didn't mind. Got to do with them. Why am I even asking that? But okay.
And the villagers didn't have a problem with you being an elf and him being a human?
Ain't
I
got
would
to
have
do with
thought
them.
so. But the people in Auchendale didn't. No. They actually respected me. Though
I'm going
Lauren
past.
probably played a big role in that. The people loved him.
Nice. Make it sound as though Lauren was perfect.
You make it sound as though Lauren was perfect. Was he really?
Well, not entirely, of course. He was a little too complacent sometimes and always went out of his way to avoid an argument. If it hadn't been for that, he could have easily become the village mayor. He simply
Wow.
didn't want it, though. He didn't have the ambition, as far as dark secrets were concerned, though. He had none. He was just good. And that's
Nice,
it.
huh? Did you love him?
Did you love him?
She married her, should have done.
Yeah, I did.
God. I was going to say she'd be married him if you didn't. Happened.
So, what happened between you?
Well, one day I woke up with a strange feeling.
Strange
As
feeling.
though all of a sudden there was a huge leaden weight on my shoulders. Everything felt so alien, so wrong. Our bed, the flowers he had brought me the day before, everything. even Lauren himself. I wanted to tell him, but for some reason, the mere thought of it turned my stomach. So I left. I wrote him a letter, packed my things, and I left.
Okay, so let me get this right. So basically, you loved him, you were so kind, you could believe that he wanted you, you married him, and then one day you woke up like, it doesn't feel right with me anymore. Bye! Here's a letter. Well, that was a bit, pardon my language, sheer wordy of you, personally. Try and talk it out with him a little bit, explain to him. No, here's a letter, I'm gone.
How could you do that to him?
Yeah.
Leaving without saying a word.
I don't know, Arif. I just don't know. But staying, it just wasn't an option.
At least spoke to him like the
Would
one
have
night.
smothered me. Dramatic as that may sound.
You didn't.
And please don't
no.
think this came easy for me.
I'm not saying that,
On the
but
contrary,
you took the coward way
I spent
out.
the next few months doing nothing but crying. I know it doesn't make it any better, but that's how it was.
When I said the coward way out, you could have at least, if he meant so much to him, sat down the afternoon, next day, give him a few days, sat down, have to explain exactly what you just said to me, my character, and saying, it just doesn't feel right anymore, it hurts, but I'm going. At least you've been honest to his face. And then gone. What would that have been for someone who's spent 2 years with, who you've been married for a year, who you're supposed to love? Is not worth one afternoon to say that to him? And yeah, you cried for how long did you say? It was 2 months afterwards. But do you think he cried when he read that letter? And how could she just go? You know? Yeah, he might try to convince you to stay, but the thing is, if you were set on, I can't, it would have smothered me, then just said that at the end of it. I can't stay, it will smother me. But at least I'm showing how much I care for you, or at least cared for you by being this honest with you before I go. I could have just left. So, I don't like that. Because it comes across to people, you know, you hear people, they dump people through text. That's stupid. You should never dump someone through a text. Or over the phone. I had that done to me once over the phone, and it's just wrong. It shouldn't happen that way. At least be honest, do it to the face. The only time it should be text run over the phone is if you're in different countries and you physically can't get to them. And with my situation, she went on a driving lesson, the first one. So she goes, oh, and we see each other every day, every night. So there's one day, I'm going to be super tired after it. I just don't have any energy. So just one night we won't see each other. Fair enough. But make sure you phone me once you're done. Once my journalist is done, phone me. So I phoned her. And actually had one of my friends, who you know on the channel, if you watch the channel, and Star Citizen sometimes, Paralysis. I believe it was Paul, who's not on my channel, came around, and then he went to get Paralysis. And I said, I can't be out long, I'm supposed to be phoning her at, I don't remember the time now, say 6:30, 7 o'clock, whatever, well, the lesson ended. So we went out, just basically talked at the park, Queen's Park, if you know where Crewe is, Queen's Park, and even talked about her, and I remember Paul sitting across, oh, you really love her, don't you, and stuff. I said, yeah. And then I got to get going now, and I went back, phoned her, everything's fine, asked her how she's doing, how her lesson went, everything's perfect, blah, 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 blah. And then she asked what I did, and then, oh, Paul came, so me, him and Chris went in the park for an hour, and then I came back to phone you. And then strangely, as soon as I said that, it was, we're finished, boom, phone down. I was like, what? You see what I'm saying? I was like, completely surprised, took it back, like, what? Phone back, 2 or 3 times before she picked up. We're done, I can't trust you, phone down. I was like, what? These are friends of hers too. We all got the same skills. It's made no sense. Phoned her back multiple times. Her brother ended up getting on the phone, bringing her down, and all that. And then it turned out because I spoke to Christian. She'd fallen. Christian's Paralysis. She had paralysis. She'd fallen out with Paralysis, and that's why. I have no clue. She never mentioned this. I haven't even seen him in months at this point. And that's why she split with me over the phone. It was horrible. 2 weeks later, was it 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks later it was. I ran into. No, I didn't run into. I actually phoned Paralysis, and we talked. And I told her 2 weeks ago she split up and still affecting me. He came round, and I explained to him exactly what happened, and he was gobsmacked. Because he said, that makes no sense. I saw her 1 week ago in game. I ran into her by mistake, and she's completely happy. She's, oh, so good to see you, and all this stuff, and basically, in other words, it was a made-up excuse lie, because she didn't want to be with me anymore. But instead of having the guts to tell me to my face, the minute she got any inkling of anything, she just uses that. And it hurt, it really did. Like, now I don't give a flying things about it anymore, because if that hadn't happened, I'll never probably have met Supermodel Tiffy, wouldn't be with her now. So, I'm glad it happened. But at the time, it obviously hurts like mad, and I feel like you should not end it over text, you should not end it over a phone, unless you're physically in other countries and there's no way of you being able to meet up. But if you basically, like that night, if she said I could come round, I would come round. She could end it then. I could go the next day, we would have met up again. I could have ended it then. The day before her lesson, she could have ended it then. She had plenty of time. Instead, she's looking for an excuse, and somebody who's she never even fell out with. And the whole thing, you can't trust me because I had a random friend show up at my door and asked if I want to go out for 2 or 3 hours. I said, well, I can go out for about an hour because I need to be back to use my house phone to phone my girlfriend, basically, because when she finishes. So how is that not trusting me? That makes no sense. Other than she was looking for a way out. And we were together about 3 months. The first 2 months was amazing. And the last month, she was all secretive and stuff, all telling me stuff like, oh, and this and this and this. And I'd be like, what? You didn't mention that before. Oh, yes, I did. I told you earlier. Said, you have not. Oh, no, I told so-and-so. And then she would shut up about it. So she wasn't even telling me this stuff, telling other people at that point. So, anyway, that's just my 2 cents on why I feel with her out. The letter and leaving. It wasn't that she went away and then she felt she couldn't deal with it and she sent him a letter because she's going to be months before they got back and didn't want him pining over her and wanted him to, you know, she wanted him to move on and stuff. You were living with him in his village. You literally woke up one day, this doesn't feel right no more. Here's a letter. Here it is, I'm gone. So that's why I don't agree with what she did. To me, that's a text. When you're basically seeing each other every day, that's a phone call when you're seeing each other every day. If she was away, a little different. If you're living in a country, a little different. It's like if me and Supermodel Tiffy split before we got together properly, we lived in different countries, it would make a bit more sense if she did it that way or I did it that way. Because at the same time, I would have to pay, what, 500-600 quid just to fly over to say, hey, we're finished. Or 500-600 quid to come over for 2 weeks and, here, fake having a good time, what I can't do. And then at the end, oh, we're finished. Or she would have to do the same. So her doing that or me doing that would make it a bit more understandable if we felt that way. But with someone who I've literally seen every single day, and I was the one walking down to the house like 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes every day. With the exception that one day she asked me not to because she'd be tired after a driving lesson. Yeah, I don't agree with that. One bit. Feeling must have come from somewhere.
And you have absolutely no idea.
The feeling's fine.
Came from.
It's just how you handled it.
I've thought about it a lot, but all I've come up with are guesses.
Such as?
I'd rather not go into detail. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, there's a correction to what I just said. There's one other time when you could leave a letter and just leave. The person's abusing you. I didn't even think about it. That's talking about a proper relationship where you both get on, you're not abusing, she's not abusing. That's the type of relationship. You shouldn't do that. If the guy's abusing you or the female's abusing you, and then you want to get out and you just leave a letter, I'm gone. That's different. That's completely different. But failing that type of situation, then it's completely wrong what she did. Because according to her, he was almost perfect. He was the love of her life. He's nice as pie to her. He didn't deserve to be treated that way. Obviously, if he was beating the snot out of her, then yeah. You know what, you could have done a 5-bolt to his face on the way out. but that's what I'm saying, on a perfectly good relationship. And fine, her feelings change, she feels smothered. That doesn't mean he's done anything wrong. So, just talk to him. And then just at the end of it, I already made my mind up, I'm going, I'm sorry. That's the end of the story.
And that's the end of the story? You left and never went back?
Well, I did go back to Auchendale 3 years later. He was with a new woman, and she was expecting.
That's good then. So she ended up having a kid with him, so he managed to move on. How did he die? What? Why? Why is my character randomly saying he's dead? Oh, duh. I'm saying my character with some still man just did the same thing. She literally just said he just died. Oh my god, that's the whole point to start the conversation, wasn't it? I was like, when he mentioned he died, I was just put start the conversation, you dumb bully. Most I felt strange.
Must have felt strange.
It did at first, yeah. But ultimately, I'm glad that he was able to move on. He deserved happiness.
Definitely.
I see. And how did he die?
I'll
Who
show you
wrote
the
that
trains
letter?
A mercenary that I hired some weeks ago. I had been thinking of him a lot after Tahar's death, and wanted to make sure he was okay.
Yeah, when he wasn't.
As it turns out,
It wasn't.
he wasn't. He got bit by a rabid wolf
Oh.
while he was out in the woods.
Ow. So I ended up basically going off on the whole, well, she just abandoned him, and I forgot to start this whole conversation off about he was dead. How do you feel? Let me know if there's anything I can do.
Just let me know if there's anything I can do.
You already have. You listened.
In my kiddie film too. Look how cute I am. Purr.
This might be a stupid question, but how do you feel?
Lost, I guess.
Can I take the helmets off?
I know Lauren probably loathed
Or
me for
hide
what I
them.
did. But up to this day, I had always felt as though he was still there.
Check in a minute.
And now he's gone. And I never even found the courage to explain why I left, or to apologize.
Well, that's not what it was
Even
supposed
though
to
I knew him
be.
somehow.
Thank
You
you.
know that? You're good.
Thank you.
The world is filled with selfish fools, but you're not one of them.
Because when SpellForce 3, I didn't really care. I wanted to have the helmet on because I like my characters to wear a mask and stuff. I just always leaned into that. But obviously, like I said in the past, in this series specifically, my SpellForce characters are all supposed to be different. Hence, one is not everyone's IVATOPIA or Yria, and this one's that specifically. So they don't all need to be mask-wearing people. So there's a way to hide it. Can I? Should I finish the conversation? I'm thinking the two ways would be through the options or through this. There was. Like a little option here to hide it or something. The main option, I don't see an option for it. Yeah, I don't see an option, so if we can, it will be in here. Should be a tick thing. Come out of track quest, continue dialogue, enable W's, loading screens, highlight important choices. There we go, hide helmets. Boop. Beautiful. Keep looking for an okay, but do you think just come out of it? Oh no. Is there an okay I'm missing? Like before when I did the sound, did I have to change the sound? Yeah, there's some sentence that I didn't I? Hide helmet. Maybe it loads it back up when it comes to the next map. To review hide helmets equipped by party members. Doesn't have a little symbol. Maybe once it's finished talking. Oh, I'll take the helmet off and on them. Or does it only hide on here? So that's how it works. Okay, that's not very good. If you want to hide, I want to hide fully. So it doesn't hide on this screen, it just hides it on that screen. Then, if I realised it worked that way, I would have had it off, well, hidden the whole time then. So to me, it's hiding when you're on the main display thing. I want it, not here. I think that's what it's doing. I'll double check, but I do think that's how it's working. Yep, exactly how it's doing it. Instant. Yeah, might as well just have it hide then so I can see the faces here, just makes it easier. That sucks though. I was hoping this thing wouldn't. Okay, what did you say? You remind me of him somehow? You go, yeah, what makes you think that? You don't know that.
What makes you think that?
I just do. You know, I've been with men and women since, but
And women, she's
I
back.
seem to cling to only the ones who don't love me. To the ones who do, like Lauren. I'm like poison. Good thing we're just friends, isn't it?
Wow. So we are, and here I was about to recite my love sonnets. What are you trying to say? It is.
Is that all we are?
Oh, I don't know. I need some time now, okay? I'll be ready when duty calls.
Wow. No relationship going on there. Brewing. Okay.
General.
Do you hear from Black Company?
Did you hear back from the Black Company's leader yet? We still need to find information on those rogue sleepers.
Not yet, but that doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
The man likes to take his
Of
time.
course he does.
I suggest we deal with the other matters first.
Okay, it's fine. Okay. I'll be going.
I'll be
then.
going. We'll
So I
speak
guess
later.
some of these side quests we can do then. Great Keep Kings something. Don't know if you're interested, but if you've been watching my channel, so I upgraded my computer to 32 gigs, and I think was it the other day it used up to 24 gig. I'm recording this on the 20th of the 7th of July, so 20th of July. Don't need 16 gigs for, at least right now, for SpellForce 3 if you're interested. Right now I'm using 9.1 gig, so as long as it'll go over 60, well I think it's 15.9 specifically, at any time, then this game does not require it. Well, the end again, there's not much going on. It's more the RTS. I'm expecting it to go through the roof a bit, or really big cities, possibly. Okay, I am over here. Who am I supposed to be going to right now? King's Fire Moves. So let's go to the world map. There's just things we can do. Mostly side quests or stuff we can do, or there's something we're missing. I want to get a few more levels, a few more stats, start accepting these little prizes on the side, and of course building the money up, and I can buy the stuff for the RTS things more. So there's going to be stuff I can do. So we'll hold this down here for example. Okay. Oh wow, we have 3 different things to go to. So Galamune Silver for the Dwarven Historian. Okay, okay, so that's where I need to take it to. I gave him all of it, haven't I, so far, right? I'm picking any other pieces up? No, so that's where I need to take it to, so that's useless. So this probably just takes someone to collect egg for the Dwarf Smith. I do have an egg, don't I? Or do I? Then I know I've got a lot of... Could be that. Okay, I was thinking like that. That it's like Chichi shells. I think it was like waving shells, was not. Okay, and the Reavers in the Scorching Desert. Reavers, okay. Well, Reavers are over there to do. Finally defeat the Reavers. The Howling Steps. Okay, so we have Reavers above for these. So I'll do this one first, and then do that one. Okay, so of course I have to go no matter what. Didn't you have a new summons we can bring? Who are you? Are you? Oh, you are, aren't you?
We can take them.
You don't look orange like on the... I'm used to you with your helmet on. I feel we should bring you because that's the dedicated healer. I have to go no matter what. I'm a little bit of a tank, a little bit of damage dealer, a little bit of healer, so I'm a bit of everything. We need a dedicated tank because that's you or you at this point. I guess you'll be quite good as a tank with that thingy ability, so I'll leave Ivory and we'll bring you with your summons, what might help her tank. That's my thinking right now. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Golden dunes rise and fall at the whims of the wind.
Winds of the
revealing
wind.
and bearing the bones of many a lost adventurer. For a lucky few who wander the sands, salvation appears on the horizon. A cluster of trees to shelter from the heat, and a small pool to quench cracked lips.
Crack them lips.
But an oasis
Licorice
is more
lips.
than just
Lick
desperate
it.
travelers
Lick it.
seeking a safe haven.
We made it.
Holy fuck.
According to the map, this area is a wavering breeding ground.
Stones, is that why it's so
Noise
hot?
making.
Come on. We gotta keep moving.
Okay, we're at 24 minutes. So what I'm going to do is save the game and probably do this off channel. If I get attacked while doing this, I'll probably quickly... Ladies and gentlemen, we're back! Welcome to whatever episode we're on. Hopefully we won't. See you in a sec, people.